All right, looking at Helium here. So, been about a week-ish since I looked at this. Was looking for a buy, but if it broke this zone, which it did not do, so it's actually just broken lower. So it's appearing to be pretty bearish. This is too new to have a daily moving average. So, but I believe it has a 4-hour. Yes, barely. So, in prices below the 4-hour moving average, you can see lower lows, lower highs on this structure. So, yeah, it's definitely bearish now, which sucks because it did have this nice run upwards. And so we'll clean up all these zones and we'll see if we can find an entry. But yeah, I would say this is definitely bearish. So you're looking for more of a short position, if any. So first price that comes to mind here is actually this area here. So you can see price before respected this zone many times, broke, and then had a tough time breaking back upwards through it. See, rejected, and then finally broke above, and then now back through, and then you got all these wicks in here showing that it's having a tough time going through, and then finally it did. So this is my main area that I would be looking for. Probably I like to pick a whole number, so 1.8 would be the price for Helium here. If price came back up to it, I would consider shorting it. And then, I mean, I would probably target the tops of these prices here, which is kind of where price is sitting right now, actually. So right at 1.6, but yeah, actually $1.60, 63 kind of thing, right where price is sitting right now. So you might actually get a bounce right here. So like theoretically, you could take a potential buy position as price. You can see it's kind of starting to make higher highs, higher lows already. So there's a chance this pushes up now and tries to fill this gap between current prices and this moving average all the way up to about $1.80. But I mean, you're counter trend trading, and the overall trend is bearish. You can see there's on this 4-hour time frame, there's just a ton of bearish structure. So yes, you kind of could possibly buy it right now, but I would advise against it. I mean, if I was to advise you on anything, which I don't think legally I'm allowed to do, so I'm not doing that. But yeah, personally, I wouldn't counter trend trade this. It's not worth it. In my mind, I would just wait for price to. So like instead of buying it now up to this zone, I would just wait for price to come back up to this zone, and then consider a short position at that point. Because then you're just going with the trend. You're going with the flow of traffic. It makes more sense to just do that if price comes back up to $1.80, which I think this would be a spot to get a bounce. I mean, there's a liquidity zone here as well, or there was. We don't know if it's still valid. We'll see if what price does when it comes back down to it. But there is, yeah, a zone right here as well, right at $1.50. So that makes sense because that's a nice whole number. But I mean, as of right now, price actually seems to be breaking through this zone. It pulled up and it rejected, pulled all the way up to $1.70 and rejected. So this might actually push right through the zone. So, but yeah, if looking at Helium here, I would say it's definitely bearish. It's definitely a short position if any. And the immediate one that I see right now is at $1.80-ish in this zone here, between $1.77 and $1.80. So that's what I would be waiting for price to come back up here to this area. Look for a bit of a retest, so come up here, reject, and then boom, there's your short position. You can even tighten this up a little bit. So I would actually look for something like this. Just keep it real nice and clean here. So this is your new liquidity zone based on these candles. But what's more likely to happen with this being now bearish, this was the previous liquidity zone based on these wicks, but what could happen is price actually comes up a little bit short. So something like here, see it a lot. So there's a chance that price gets to about here and then it starts wicking out and creates a little zone like this right below this big one here, and then yeah, then this becomes your new liquidity zone, and that's also a good sign that it wants to head lower. So if it starts creating liquidity zones that are below the previous ones, then that tells you that A, it wants to go lower. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to break the zone, but it's probably going to go lower than these current prices here. So that is my take on HNT Helium. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll be sure to update you in a few days ish, a week maybe, with this currency, and we'll go from there.